Welcome to Men Heard Too, a space where men get to share their knowledge, wisdom, but especially their truth. I started Men Heard Too because I wanted to give men a safe platform to share their truth, to learn everything that we need to know about men. This is brought to you by hashtag Coffee with T, and I'm T. And today I am excited as usual because every man that has come on here has enlightened us, shared their truth, and has been very transparent. And I'm excited to have the young executive, Carl Michel. He sparks the minds that will change the world. He has a unique way of captivating audiences with his charisma and his authentic art of storytelling. Carl's transparency about his life's experiences allows him to connect with audiences in order to guide them in the right direction. In light of what our young generation faces on a day to day basis, they need positive messages and mentors that can speak directly to what they deal with every day. Carl Michel was born in Port au Prince, Haiti, and raised in an unprivileged area of Stamford, Connecticut. So he has firsthand account of the influence that many of our young people are subjected to. Instead of letting the distractions and mistakes he's made in the past derail him, he now uses it to deliver a powerful message of hope and acceptance. Carl has become the best selling author of 365 Hip Hop Daily Motivational Quotes, a mentor, a philanthropist, and an executive producer of the Youth Empowerment Show. He effectively uses his life's experiences and positive aspects of music to impact the lives of young adults all across the globe. Welcome, Carl.
Yes, Trey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm amazing. It's so incredible just to be here on your platform. So thank you for inviting me.
Oh, no, thank you for being here. I'm so excited about this, right? Because I've talked to several men, a lot of men so far, and I love to talk to our younger generation, right? Because
Right.
you guys are the future. And not only are you the future, but you are reaching back and talking to the future of the future. So we really, really need you. So I love you
Right.
because you've been at it for a long time. And do you mind if I
Yes.
ask your age?
I just turned 35.
Okay, so you've been at it for a long, long time. For a young 35-year-old man to have so much experience under your belt, it just impresses me that you took yourself from a situation or situations and you decided to do something positive with your life. So the first thing I always ask my men is because I think it is vital for us as a society to understand men. So the first thing I ask is, what is your blueprint? Tell me a little bit about your relationship with your mother and your relationship with your father.
Wow, that's how we're gonna set it off.
That's how we gonna set it off, boo. Yes.
Wow. Okay. You know what? My relationship with my parents has always been a great one, in my opinion. Well, let me say this. My relationship with my mother has always been a great one. We've she's raised me. She's My mother's always been the traditional, I guess, housewife, if you will. So she raised us in the home. My parents have been together for 30. I mean, no, I'm sorry. My parents have been married for 37 years. Together close to 50.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been together close to 50. They met when they were teenagers. I want to say 16 and 17 years old. So they've been together for a very, very long time. And my mother has never needed to work. She's always, yes. My dad has always been the provider. He's taking care of all the bills. Mother worked because she wanted to, bring more income into the household. You know what I mean? Just to supplement my dad's income. They had us all after they were married. So my mind is already programmed like, okay, marriage first, kids afterwards, provide for your family. So that's always
Mm.
been how I've been programmed and wired. That's why I don't have any children now. I'm not married or anything like that, because in my mind it's like, okay, let me make sure I get myself together. Let me make sure I find a wife. Let me make sure I build a family. That's how I've always been programmed. Um, Mother's always been the cook, the cleaner of the family, the making sure that we're on point when it comes to that. My father, on the other hand, I've watched him grind. I've watched him take us out of Haiti when we were, not in the best situation, save up his money, fly us into America, or Connecticut, if you will. Um, I've seen him go from a good position as he was a director of the television station in Haiti, and I watched him grind. Credentials in another country have no effect in America. So he's working department store jobs, parking attendants, as a cleaner in the hospital, and works his way all the way up to a registered nurse. So I've seen my father grind. So he's always been a hero to me.
Mm.
So my relationship with my dad was kind of like, during my teenage years, I was so focused on hanging out with my friends and doing what I wanted to do that it kind of clashed with what my dad wanted me to do, And looking back as an adult, I'm like, man, my dad was always right. The guys that he told me, don't hang out with these guys, I don't like them. And I'm like, Dad, how you gonna judge him off of how he looks? You know what I mean? And he's like, yo, I don't like this guy. But my dad always had that. He's a good judge of character, and he had a feeling about certain people that end up being really grimy dudes to me, But
Wow.
at the time, I wasn't able to see that. And I was always beefing with him, and that's why I ended up going to college 4 hours away. During that time frame, I didn't want to be around my dad at that point, and then his relationship with my mother kind of went through a really, really, really rough patch. So I didn't look at him the same at that point. You know what I mean? But we had to iron those things out as men,
Right.
And I feel like it was a relief to him to be able to talk to his firstborn son as a man,
Mm.
and for me to actually check him on some things like, yo, I don't like the fact that you did this, and this, and how could you do that to us? You know what I mean? So our relationship, it went through very, very rough patches, and then it allowed us to be able to be great friends, in addition to just a father-son relationship. He was the disciplinary when we were younger, and I don't know, I think I brought on the affectionate side of him. I told my dad I love you first. That's not how he was raised. You know what I mean? His dad
Wow.
would always discipline them, and that's all he knew. So at a very young age, coming from Haiti, he was always very, very strict, very disciplinary, just really, really non-affectionate. And it wasn't until I became a young adult, I want to say, early teenage years, we started saying I love you. And it was like a brand new thing in the household. And now I feel like my dad's a mush now. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
whenever I do things, I bring him to events and I speak highly of him, and I see him crying in the audience. I'm like, oh, this wasn't like this when we were younger. You know what I mean? So um, watching our relationship evolve into my adulthood, it's been a pleasure. Right.
Wow. I love that because this is why I asked the blueprint, because you made a valid point that your father's blueprint was that we don't hug, we're not affectionate, we don't say I love you. And now we have to shift those things as we become older. And sometimes we do have to take the role to say, it's okay to change that. But that's how
Right.
important a person's blueprint is, because you understood that y'all didn't necessarily say I love you in your house. But for me, I need that. So when you weren't getting that affectionate side of your dad, what message did that convey to you?
Man, I never thought about that. I never thought about the message that I was receiving. I just knew that my dad was strict, and I couldn't understand why he was like that, So I I I we get these traditional, I guess, values passed down to us, and we just accept it for it is what it is. My dad did this to me, so this is what's happening. This is what it's supposed to be like. And I just think with this generation, we're not doing the traditional norms if it doesn't serve us. like whooping my ass as much as you did, I don't think it serves me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
I get the point. I'm definitely gonna discipline my kids, but it doesn't need to be to an extreme level. It doesn't need to be like that. I'm definitely gonna love on my children. It's like I I just knew that I knew that my dad loved me, and I knew that I loved him, but because we weren't expressive, it just felt like there was something missing there. You know what I mean? And that missing element, I don't know how I brought it up. I don't actually remember how we brought it up, but now that it is implemented or embedded in our relationships, it feels 1,000 times better.
Wow, this is so helpful to me. I'm a mother of three sons, right? And I have millennials and I have a 20-year-old. I don't know what he is. Z, Gen Z. I don't even,
Who
I
knows?
don't lost track. You young, so you know all the stuff because you deal with the young people. And I'm so glad
Right.
there's somebody for them like you. Because I'm 50. I'll be 51 on Thursday. So you're
Salute to
talking about the
you.
gener
Would have never known.
Thank you. You're talking about the generation gap between me and you because I'm probably closer to your father in age than you. So I probably more understand your father's discipline than
Right.
listening to you say, you didn't need to beat me. That like that's not necessary. Because I have these conversations with my son and I'm thinking to myself, like, I would never say that to my mother. But he's saying to me,
Right.
like, Mom, times have changed. So for you to bridge that gap between the young people coming up that are 21, 22, 18, to the
Right.
parents who are my age, we need you desperately because, like you said, there
Right.
was a miss. And we
Right.
don't
Right.
want
Right.
that
Right.
miss
Right.
and have our youth running around acting crazy. So we're going to get
Right.
to our topic today, which is
Okay.
what about your friends?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
we
Right.
are
Right.
going to talk about male friendships because I really don't have an insight on that. I only know how we operate as females in friendships. And,
Boy.
and I just want to know, as women, we can be very catty, right? So what is the most important thing for men in friendship,
Loyalty.
whether it be with a man or a woman?
Loyalty. And it's crazy because it's wild. It's wild how we're programmed as men to always have each other's backs no matter what. You don't disrespect me. You don't, if I get into a fight, if someone approaches me, you got my back. I don't have to question that. I don't have to worry. This is happening with us. It ain't a me thing. But when it comes to what we are taught or how we're taught to treat our women, it's we get as many women as we want. Loyalty is not a thing with us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
How many chicks you got? What did you do with this one? The pressure's been on us since we were in middle school to, you know what I'm saying, lose our virginities, to mess with as many women as possible. And the loyalty thing, it only is programmed into us for our male relationships, and it's the exact opposite for our female relationships. I never really understood it, but I watched it at first, and then I started participating in it, and it's like, wow, we're taught to ride or die for our homies, but we won't extend that amount of loyalty to our female companions. It's so
Wow.
weird.
It
It's
is.
so
And
weird.
but this is why I wanted to talk to you because
Yeah.
I don't understand and I can't, I'm not a man, so I don't have a male mind. But I know about like my friendships with my girls. So we hear the bro code,
Right, right,
right?
right, right, right.
Or
That's
or,
loyalty, right? That's
or
that stems
bros
from
bros
loyalty.
before hoes.
Right, 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 right,
And,
right.
and but when do you shift that dynamic when you're dealing with a man? Now that you have clarity and you are of a certain age, so you are responsible for your actions, whether it is peer pressure or how many this and that. When and how do you shift that energy from, wait a minute, I know I'm supposed to be loyal, but not to a fault?
Damn, that's hard. That's hard. Um, you gotta understand at the end of the day, you need to be true to you. The morals and values that your parents usually embed in you, it doesn't click when we're teenagers. It doesn't really click until we're young adults. That's when it starts to click. Like, damn, my dad was right, or my mom was telling me the truth all along. And when we're in the middle of I guess a fork in the road, your voices as our parents, they ring in our minds. They resonate with us at those pivotal moments, you know? So at the end of the day, you need to be true to yourself. This isn't serving me, you know? Like, man, like treating her that way or treating them that way or doing this type of thing is not gonna serve me at the end of the day. So you got to be in line with what your moral compass is telling you is the right thing to do.
Wow, that was powerful. What happens when uh, a male friend hurts your feelings? Because I know with my girls, like I said, I don't, we think the first thing I say in my book is men are human beings first. And the title of the series is Men Hurt Too, because we think that you guys don't have feelings, you don't bleed, you don't cry, nothing bothers you. What happens when a
We,
male friend hurts your
we
feelings?
have to internalize that. And we don't actually do anything with it most of the time. We sit with that. We've been getting teased since we were kids, you know,
Wow.
whether it's your clothing, whether it's how you act, whether if you're tough enough or whatever the case may be. We hurt each other's feelings on a regular basis. We back when I was growing up, we call it capping. We literally would roast each other, and we don't care about your feelings. You know, that's just what it is, and we that's one of those things. We just built this external toughness, and
External.
external toughness. We never really deal with the internal, and it keeps perpetuating year after year, day after day, month after month. So we never really deal with people hurting our feelings. You know, we might say, yo, that's effed up of you, but that's pretty much the extent of it. You know, if it hurts your feelings to the point where you want to fight him, you'll do that because that's the only thing that you can think to do at that point. Yo, don't talk about my mother. Like that was the thing growing up. Don't talk about my mom like that. And then we would just our only form of expression when our feelings were hurt was violence.
Right.
Like, yo, this dude's talking about me. That's the last time he's gonna talk about me,
Right.
and we deal with it that way. Um, you know, when it's friends, we might just like, you know, when somebody that you're close with and they hurt your feelings, we're not gonna be like, yo, man, you hurt my feelings. Like that's not something that we're not expressive like that, man. We might curse each other out, you
Right.
know, but we might go to the lunchroom or go to the, you know what I'm saying, continue on with our day after that. But that's really about it. It's never really a conversation, you know. It's either a confrontation. It's a
Oh,
confrontation of some sort. It's never really a conversation. It's usually a confrontation.
wow. Even in adult relationships?
Um, wow, I've never in adult relationships, we've learned to express ourselves differently, you know. Um, but if we haven't learned to develop those necessary conversation skills, it's usually met with silent treatment.
Oh,
You know?
so wait a minute. Let me stop right there. Hold it. I need this. This is so good for every woman that's listening. So y'all don't only give us the silent treatment in a relationship. When you are hurt and have to deal with the hard conversations, you give your male counterparts the silent treatment as
Yeah,
well?
absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes, I mean, depending on who it is, we just might need a little bit of time, and then we continue like nothing really happened, you know, or we brush it off like it's no big deal, you know. So my brother and I have a younger brother, and now, of course, in my older looking back and understanding what trauma looks like and all this other stuff, I remember I was turning 30, and I was my when I turned 30, that's when I released my book in October. I got baptized and I turned 30, so it was a monumental month for me. And I was just on an apology tour, you know, with a lot of women that I heard. I was looking back at relationships, and I was like, man, I never apologized to this person. So my little brother, was one of the people that I felt like I needed to apologize to because I wasn't a good big brother to him, you know. And when we were kids, we would fight all the time, you know. And you know what? I reflected as an adult, like, damn, that I was kind of abusive as a 8, 9, 10-year-old. I'm supposed to be protecting my brother, and I'm fighting him more than anybody else in the neighborhood or anything else. Like I'm bringing on this negative energy to him. And now as an adult, I realize a lot of the trauma or a lot of the reasons that we're the way that we are is based on something that happened in our childhood,
Oh,
So if your big brother is the one that's beating you up or something like that, like that has a big effect on a kid, you know? So I'm calling him, I'm crying like, yo, bro, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know I was like this to you. Please forgive me. He's like, yo, don't worry about it, bro. It was kids,
wow.
But I don't think he ever processed, what I did, I think it was kind of like, yo, no, I don't care. Like you actually, it's affecting you today. I can see that it's affecting you today. You know what I mean? But he doesn't realize that. So as men, we don't heal from those things. We move on from them. And
Wait a
those
minute,
things,
hold it. I need somebody to hear this. I need every man to hear this. We don't heal from those things, we move on from them. Ladies,
right.
if you are dealing with something going on in your home, this is why I bring men on, Carl, because I need to hear the human aspect of you. Like, it's not just in your intimate relationships. We have not healed from it. We just moved on. So it still exists inside of us. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
It's there. And I use my brother as an example because we're all in our 30s now, me and my siblings. And he has a hardcore exterior. And I'm just like, damn, I feel responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally, me as an older brother, feel responsible because I'm like, man, I kind of made him like this.
Wow.
More, like as a young kid, again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're dealing with years of, household turmoil with somebody that's supposed to be protecting you. You know what I'm saying? And that creates something in you that makes you different.
Right. And I said, I say this all the time too, Carl. And I said this on the call I had this morning about setting boundaries, that unfortunately our experiences are to teach us, but for so many of us, our experiences mold us. And they're not supposed to mold us. Our experiences are supposed to be teachable moments that teach us how to set boundaries with people. But unfortunately, they mold us to the extreme of, if your parents had a crazy marriage, I'm never going to get married. The experience is supposed to teach you that what I see in this house with them yelling and screaming and arguing, I'm not going to do that. Not to the extreme of we're going to get married again. But that's what experiences do, and it did that to your brother. So how do you go ahead?
No, I'm just saying. So as adults, as adult men, if you're not feeling something that your homie did, it's kind of like, yo, don't do that no more. Like, we're gonna have an issue if you do that. Don't do it no more. And be like, all right, cool, I respect that. And then you move on from it. We don't really address it after that. It was like, all right, my bad, you right. And that's the extent of it. You know what I mean? Like, we never really have a conversation. Hey, man, when you said this about this or this, it affected me in this way. We don't really have those conversations.
Right.
It's like, yo, man, I wasn't feeling how you said that. I'm like, yo, you know what? You're right, bro. My bad. I see what you say. My bad, yo. And that's it.
Do you think that you guys have been taught to not have these conversations, to just move forward? And how do we break that cycle of teaching you that?
How do we break that cycle? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't even know. I think conversations like this is a start, but we gain our philosophies from the men that we respect and look up to.
Whoa.
Yeah, we gain our philosophies from the men we respect and look up to. For example, I was a kid on the block. I don't consider myself a street dude, but I grew up in a tough neighborhood. Around a lot of stuff. I grew up in the crack era. I've seen a lot. I looked up to it. I respected the hustlers on the block. They had the cars, the clothes, the money, and the girls. I respected. They looked like they was winning right now. So that's what success was to me at a young age. And when we were kids, like if we got into a fight, whoever won the fight got to hang out with drug dealers. Like that was
Whoa.
it was a reward for us to
Wow.
impress them. So it was like, it's like one of those things, like they would see us fight and they would come down, instead of being the guys that said, yo, chill out, they like, yo, little man, get him. Like they would root the negative behavior. So we were like, oh, this is what we need to do to gain respect, right? So we would hang
Wow.
out with the guys on the block as a young kid, and I think my father would see my desire to hang out with them, and thankfully he worked hard enough to move us out of that neighborhood. But my point in saying that is, from the guys that we respect, when it comes to women or dealing with hard times, it's never been, hey, little bro, you should take the time that you need to heal from this situation before you move on. I've never heard those words. It's like, I don't know if I can curse on here,
Go
but
ahead. Yes, you can.
the philosophy, excuse my French, but the philosophy is, fuck these bitches, get this money. Like, that's the philosophy. It's ingrained in our head. So you're telling me she broke up with me, she hurt my feelings. You're telling me the way that I heal from this is to get more women and just disregard everybody's feelings and find a way to get some money. Like, that's your philosophy you're ingraining in me. So it's not take the time to heal. It's not, you should probably not be dating for a while. It's like, no, get as many chicks as you can, hurt all of these feelings, do whatever you need to do, and that's how you cope. They teach us how to cope with things. They never teach us how to heal with things, right? So if our philosophy is just move on, that's what we're going to continue to do. The man that I respect is telling me, F these chicks, get this money. They're not telling me to heal. So I am programmed at a young age to move on. I'm not healing. So this is stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. Man up. You need to, don't act like that. And women say it to us, men say it to us. Yo, you gonna cry about it, you gonna do something about it. All right, let me do something about it, because obviously that's the response that I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Yo, just more stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. We never really healed. We just did. We moved forward.
That's a whole conference. We never really heal. We just deal. We move forward. And in my book, I talk about all these issues of having issues with your father, not being popular in school, not being able to get the girl. And then when you get older and you go work out in the gym and you look good, now you want to annihilate all of these girls for something a girl in high school did to you at 14 years old, who she was trying to.
We can talk about that. We can talk about
Right,
that
who
too.
she was trying to
But
be the popular girl, so she wanted to be with the popular football player. It had nothing to do with you. She didn't know who she was, and it's just a vicious cycle of so many things that I saw with my sons. And I'm like, you never healed from that from 7 years old when you fell in front of your friends and they laughed at you, because we didn't deal with it in the household. We just told you, get up, wipe your knee off, so what is bleeding? You're fine. Don't cry. Don't do this. So that's why I said I wrote my book, Men Hurt Too, because I see that
right.
The minor, the things that people thought were minor,
That's a
not
big
being
deal.
popular in school, are major for a man. Why he's a womanizer? Because y'all was mean to me because I was skinny and ugly in high school.
So in regards to that, I was the kid. I was, in my opinion, unattractive. I felt like I was inside, right? I was, during my puberty stage, my voice was cracking.
Right.
I had so many pimples. I was like, my acne was bad back then. I didn't have confidence at all, but all I wanted was a girlfriend. I just wanted
Right.
one girlfriend. I didn't care what she looked like. I don't care where she's from. I just wanted one girlfriend. And I was always too something. Carl, you too nice. I can only see you as a brother to me. I was, and then, I'm getting all this rejection. I already don't have confidence. Now I'm getting all this rejection. And at the same time, I'm watching all of my friends just really treat women horribly, and they get all the girls that they want. And I'm like, what? This works? I was at a bus station, hanging out with my friends downtown, And in my mind, I'm like, yo, I just want a girlfriend. I just want a girlfriend. And my friend, as a 13, 14, 15-year-old, he's talking with this girl. He's like, shut up. And like pushes her. Like, not really. It's like it's a thin line between like a playful and kind of like a serious way, whatever. And she was like, oh, stop it. So she like laughed it off and was all over him. And I'm like, damn, that's what y'all like, you know? And in my mind, I'm like, obviously what I'm doing isn't working because I'm 0 for like 20 right now. You know what I'm saying? And my mans, all of them are in my ear like, yo, that ain't how you treat women. You're supposed to treat them like this, and that. But I see it working for them. And I adapt this philosophy of you know, F these bitches, get this money. I adopt this philosophy because obviously it's working for them. And they're teaching me, along with the older guys that were in the school. I used to hang out with the seniors as a freshman. They're teaching me how to balance out multiple women at the same time. You know, you got to have 5 girls on your roster. Your starting lineup got to be at least 5. You know, so I'm balancing out having conversations with multiple women. And at that time, I didn't even know how to talk to girls. You know, but they're teaching me. You know, this is how you talk to chicks, and so it works for them. Got to work for me. And then that developed my mindset. That conditioned me to be a player, whatever you want to call it. But it conditioned me at a very young age to be a womanizer, you know, see what you can get out of them as opposed to what you can give to them. You know what I'm saying? So it stemmed from me not getting any girls when I was younger. It stemmed from them pouring into me a negative philosophy. And then when I'm like, okay, no, I'm gonna get a girlfriend, and then she hurts your feelings. Now it's like, oh, hell no. Like everything they said was true because she did this to me, you know? Now it's like, okay, the one time I'm like, I'm gonna do right by somebody, they do me wrong. It don't matter how many women I've hurt in the past, but this one person did me wrong. Now it's like, F all y'all, you know? So that hurt feeling was confirmation, you know, that what these guys were telling me was the truth. So then you go on a rampage, and it's like, yo, you're hurt, you never healed, and now you're hurting, you're demolishing, like you said, all these women. It's a horrible cycle.
It really is. But I'm so glad that you're sharing this, because as women, and I'm gonna say this, as women, we don't know where the hurt and the pain comes from. So we personally take on every bit of it, and it's not even about us. It's about deep rooted issues from, and not just with women, but with not being good enough because you didn't make the football team, and your father, a guy is at home and your father is like, you should have made the football team, or just not being good enough in certain areas, and not getting the support that you need to say, okay, you didn't make it, so let's try baseball. Maybe you're just not good at football, but your father wanted you to be an NFL player. So I just want women to understand, like, a lot of times it's not about us. And this is what I had to learn to keep myself from being damaged by damaged men, because nobody can damage me unless I allow them to, unless I make it about myself. So let's transition a little bit, because we only have like 5 minutes left, which I'm gonna have you back on. But let's transition a little bit to male and female relationships.
Right.
So when men and women are in relationships, is there a safe space to be in a relationship with a female friend? Or is there always a ulterior motive? Because people say, you know, male friends they just waiting to be the shoulder to cry on.
That's a slippery slope.
Tell the truth or shame the devil.
That's a slippery slope. So I in order for me to heal, I read books. I listen to, motivational speakers and things of that nature. So I read a book by Devon Franklin. It's called something about the dog.
Oh yeah.
The Truth About Men. The Truth About Men.
Right.
It's called The Truth About Men. And if you and I are building, let's say a building, for example, you and I are building a building, our foundation has to be rock solid, but our house has to be protected. If everything is between you and I, then I'm able to keep our house in order, right? if I have a male companion that I confide in, that's one thing. That's cool. But the moment I start to confide in a woman that is not my family, not my sister or my mom, the moment I confide in a woman that's a friend, I'm letting her into my house.
Mm.
I just cracked the window open. Like I'm supposed to be building a fortress with my lady, my queen, right? This is our kingdom. Now I let somebody that's outside of our kingdom into what's going on in this household. That's a recipe for disaster. That's why so many relationships, like let's say at work relationships, the proximity is there. Now I can confide in you, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe she did this. And now you're like, oh, I would never do that to you. Or now I start to fantasize or romanticize about how great of a relationship I have with my coworker who has nothing to do with my wife or my lady. Now I'm telling her all the bad things about my woman. It's already painting a picture in her. And then in addition to all of that, I'm starting to think about how great she is. It's messing everything up. It's messing everything up. Now, you crack the window open. Now the window's wide open, and now anybody can bust through that door. Your
Right.
foundation is cracked now. So it's a horrible idea to maintain that relationship, because I know if I have a very attractive woman friend, I'm probably, physically attracted to her, of course. And if she keeps confiding in me, I'm the shoulder to cry on. Sometimes that level of trust and intimacy leads to something sexual. Now I done broke a bond with the woman that I have. Like, nah, it's not a good idea at all. Like, why is this dude coming over your crib? If that's just your
Right.
friend, or why is this girl hanging out with you all day long? Like, nah, man, I've seen it too many times. I've witnessed it too many times. Yo, you let somebody in, now you're trusting this person, now you're loving this person. Now it's like, whoa, I'm not feeling this at all. You didn't set any boundaries for yourself. And again, I'm not an angel. I had to learn from a lot of my mistakes. I let too many women have access to me when I'm dealing with somebody
Mm.
else. Why does if you like listen, I read this on online the other day. Like, if you're a king, people in the kingdom don't have access to you. If you're a boss, people don't. I can't walk into Microsoft. I don't care if there's a headquarters here. I can't talk to Bill Gates or anybody like that. That I don't have access to the boss. If I walk into Oprah Winfrey Studios, I don't have access to Oprah Winfrey. She's the boss. I'm the boss. If you're the boss, people don't have access to you, right? So why would I grant somebody this access to come mess up my household, mess up my kingdom? You understand? So we don't set boundaries as men. Oh yeah, that's my homegirl. No, that's not, bro. You're attracted to her, and if she threw it at you, you would catch it.
Oh,
so
I love you
so
so much.
don't play those games with yourself. Don't play those games with your life. Don't play those games with your wife, bro. Like you're setting yourself up for failure. Yeah, and we know we're doing it. Like, oh, she fine as hell. Like, we could flirt around a little bit or whatever the case might be. Like, damn, she could get it. If we think that in our mind already, why are you telling her your business? Why are you telling her
Right.
why does she know about your wife, bro? That's a
Right.
problem. Why does
Yep.
why does why does why does he know about me? What are you doing? Why does he know what's going on in my household? Like, yo, that's a problem. And I know I know women have their group of friends, they have the group chats and all that stuff, but like, yo, this is my private business. Now every one of your friends know about everything about me, and now you're telling your guy friends too. Yo, that's disrespectful. Now I'm telling him about my lady, what my lady's doing right or wrong. Like, yo, bro, you're violating your household. So it's a horrible idea. That's it, long story short.
No, I love this so much. This is why we have to have these conversations between men and women so that because when people are not doing the right thing, they will tell you you're being insecure. Oh, you being insecure. That's my girl. We've been friends since high school. Oh, it's not that serious that I'm talking to her, that she inboxed me. And I'm a person who I've always said when I'm in a relationship, if you can't say it on my wall, don't say it to me at all on social media. If you can't say it on my wall, don't say it to me at all. Don't go in my inbox. Don't go in my DMs. You don't have that access, like you said. But people will make you feel like you're wrong when you say men and women can be friends, or if you say that they can't be. When you're in a relationship, there are boundaries that should never be crossed. And I have a male friend who's a very good friend of mine, and when we were in relationships, we never talked about I never as a woman talked about his girlfriend. I never asked about their relationship problems. My thing was, hey, how's she doing? If we went somewhere, it was clear with her that there were no boundaries being crossed. And if she was uncomfortable, I said it from the beginning. If she's ever uncomfortable, let me know, because I won't do anything to make another woman uncomfortable, because I want that respect.
And I kind of feel like that should be our friends. Like
Right. Oh,
why you don't, if I got a female best friend, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, yo, why can't I freely talk to her in front of you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the issue? I don't mind putting my phone on speakerphone. I ain't got nothing to hide. You know what I mean? Like, what's there to be secretive about? Why can't she come over to the crib and, what I'm saying, we all hang out? Like, if that's really your friend, then why
right.
you're not her friend in front of me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is he not your friend in front of me? Like, this doesn't make sense to me,
That's the problem.
So if I have someone that's important in my life, like a female best friend or a male best friend, all my friends. If you're my wife, I don't have nothing to hide. You know my friends, I know your friends. Who's this guy? I
Right.
never heard of this guy before. Oh, that's my
Right.
friend. Since when? I thought I knew all your friends. And why
Right.
he not our friend?
Right. Exactly. I love
Why
it.
why she
Why
not
he
why she
not
not
our
our friend?
friend?
I, what
Exactly.
what I hate is what I hate is having to hide stuff. Like if I'm driving in the car and I don't want to feel the pressure, like, yo, I don't know who's about to text me if she takes my phone to uh type in a address for the GPS. If we're playing music from my phone, I don't want to be like, damn. Ooh, if she scrolled through the pictures, it's over. If she look at these text messages, if someone happens to call me right now, it's a wrap for me. I don't want that pressure. I don't want that stress.
Right.
It causes so much chaos in a relationship. Like, I don't want that. I want my best friend, my woman, my queen, my lady, and I to be so comfortable. I'm like, yo, babe, I'm driving right now. Can you respond to this text message? That is so freeing to be able to do that. I don't,
Yes.
like, come on, man. Like, I desire that. I crave that. I look forward to that, So I don't want to be sweating bullets when you're changing the song.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. You turn or you can't you got to turn the Bluetooth off when you get in the car, because you don't want that number to come on that screen.
yeah, like,
Like,
come
oh,
on,
let me
man.
turn my Bluetooth off.
If you gotta do all of that, it's a clear indicator that something's wrong. You
Just be
gotta check your,
single.
you just gotta check yourself at that point. Like, damn, you
Right.
know what? That if I gotta hide who I am or what I'm doing, that's not a good indicator. That's not transparency. So it's what I want, full transparency, and I need to start with myself.
Right.
If I expect that from her, don't be talking to nobody, don't be doing like it. I don't talk like that now, but if I expect complete loyalty on this side, why am I hiding stuff?
Right.
It's been one-sided for too long. You know, we're
Yes.
we're we're, we're insecure. We're doing all this stuff, and that's because we don't trust ourselves. And if I
Ooh.
don't trust me, I damn sure ain't gonna trust you. Because I know if
Right.
the shoe was on the other end and I have a bad female friend, oh man, it might go down. So I don't like the fact that this single person is in your life, because I know that's how we think, you
Right.
know, and it's usually insecurities flare up from the dirt that I've been doing, you
Right.
know. I'm like, yo,
Oh, good.
I
This
don't
has
know.
been good stuff. This has been excellent. I thank you, Carl, for being transparent, being truthful, and shedding light on a lot of things that women want to know about. Because the truth is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So transparency, I always say truth plus transparency equals healing. So tell everybody where they can find you, where they can get your book.
Get that. Ooh. All right. So you can go, well, for my book, you can go to youngexecutive.com. That's YOUNGEXEKUTIVE. And everything on my platforms is at Young Executive. There we go. 365 hip hop daily motivational quotes. It has a little bit of everything in there. So it's a quote, it's a positive message, and an affirmation every single day of the year. Okay, 365 hip hop. So we got Beyonce in there, Jay-Z, and all these other people. So literally everybody that you can think of, from old school to new school, is in there. And Youth Empowerment Show is my my platform where I interview celebrities and community leaders. We do a lot of work in the community. And you can find me at Youth Empowerment Show or at Young Executive. All right. And if you're looking to write a book, you can contact me as well. Write a Legacy is my workshop. I've been helping a lot of people become bestsellers, and the writing and publishing process has been kind of tough. So if you need a little bit of coaching, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through that.
Thank you again so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Remember what I tell you at the end of all my broadcasts: you deserve the best. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve the best. Now go get it. Remember Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. We'll see you next time on Men Hurt Too. Thank you, Carl.
Pleasure's all mine, Trey.
Peace.